Good day everyone, welcome. Thanks for watching. Goeiedag almal, baie welkom. Dankie dat julle saam kyk. Today's video will contain 3 different parts. Firstly, I'm going to complete some edits on the previous recording of the harmonies. Secondly, I will be doing the second harmony take, the right hand panned tenor track, which I referred to in the previous episode. And lastly, I will attempt to export all my audio from SONAR X3 Producer and get it into Logic Pro X. I'm going to show you guys the process. As far as I'm aware, this should work. As always, a shout out to my Patreon supporters. Thanks so much guys for supporting me. Without you, these videos won't be possible. If you are not a Patreon supporter yet, do pop over to patreon.com/Riaan Eloff. Have a look around. There are some great perks that I'm sure you'll enjoy, or you may just want to support my music and the videos that I make. Now, without any further ado, right on to the 3 different videos. Here goes. Okay, folks. So as you can see on the screen here, I've this is where we edited the lead vocals. I'm just going to close them down again. So what we're going to do now is we're going to work on this one that I just did, the harmony that I just recorded. I'm just going to unrecord and unactivate. I was okay. Live justly, love mercy. There'll be some pitch shifting there because it wasn't brilliant. Let's see what I did here, because I tried to do that who. I really don't feel that it's brilliant, but whatever. Let's see. Oh, your God. So I can take that away from there. This one was the final one. Let's just take this the other way. So I don't know why they're. I don't worry. I've been told that they die. I've been told there is a reason. Okay, so this one is the. This seems to be the final cut where I did it correctly. So let's hope it's it. I've been told there is a reason. Yep. One breath. I'm really chuffed with myself. Very impressed with myself. Thank you very much. Get ma. And then there was a place where I mucked about a bit after the instrumental. Let's just see how it goes. I'm just cleaning that ending up. Then after the instrumental where I started again, and I came in here, let's just see. Sy probeer haar best om saggies te kyk.
Dit sal karakter gee in jou video.
Te doen, nee. Okay, so I did this, and then there was a place where I punched it. And walk humbly before your God. Is this okay? Live justly, mercy, and walk humbly before your God. Live justly, mercy, and walk humbly before your God. Live justly, love mercy. Check hierdie een, hè? Ja, it's clear. Live justly, love mercy, and walk humbly. Excellent. Now I'm going to do the same thing but a second take. In other words, the same thing but on another channel. So here you can see on the mixer as I go to the second one, depending on right level, I'm going to do the level -6 like the other one. also going to pan it stereo in my head. You can see there in the headphones it's pan stereo and wide. And here goes, let's see what happens. Okay, short music. I'm going to try and do the last take. But these three words I say to you: live justly, love mercy, and walk humbly before your God. Live justly, love mercy. I say to you, live justly, love mercy, and walk humbly before your God. Live justly, love mercy, and walk humbly before your God. Okay, so dit sal help as ek die record button druk. I say to you, live justly, love mercy, and walk humbly before your God. Live justly, love mercy, and walk humbly before your God. I've been told there is a reason. Ek dink jy gaan die tweede there is a rhyme. Oh yeah. For everything a perfect season. But always these three things remain. Live justly, love mercy, and walk humbly before your God. Live justly, love mercy. Live justly, love mercy, and walk humbly before your God. Live justly, love mercy, and walk humbly before your God. Live justly, love mercy, and walk humbly before your God. Live justly, love mercy, and walk humbly before your God. Daai moet gaan met coconut bun. As jy guys. Ek is nou tevrede, dis nou goed. Those were the two first steps. Initially I did the editing and the completion of some editing, and then I showed you the video where I did the second harmony. Right now we're going on to the export from SONAR to Logic. Let me give you a little bit of background on this. I've been working on PC for quite a while, and many of you may recall my setup from one of the very first videos. I'll briefly show you what it looks like again. There's the first screen, the second screen, the third screen, and the fourth screen. I use these screens for different reasons. Just by coincidence, today this is doing the capture. This is my main SONAR screen with all my tracks displayed. This is the mixer screen for Sonar with the channels display. And this is the controller for my RME total mix. Here are the breakout boxes for that. So while I'm working with PC, I'm mainly using these devices. But I recently purchased a MacBook Air. I also purchased Logic Pro X to use that for my audio. There are many reasons. I'm not going to discuss too much of it in detail. If you'd like to know why I'm considering all of these changes, comment below. I'm happy to chat about that and share a little bit more. I'm also going to be using this Behringer along with one of these units. The current Behringer units, the ADA 8000s, connect to my RME Total Mix HDSP 9652 card, which is built into my PC. But this card is getting very old. It's been functioning for near on 15 years. Yeah, and it's amazing. It is an amazing device. But technology is moving ahead. Sometime I may need to replace my PC again, and the format of the card will probably not fit into the new motherboards. That's what I'm expecting, and that's what I'm seeing happening. So I decided also to purchase the Behringer FCA 1616, which is a USB connection. Also to be more portable. It can plug in via USB to a laptop and function as a 16-channel in and out card when I connect one of my ADA 8000s to it as well, which is very comfortable when you're recording outside broadcasts. I've done choirs in the past, a band live or such. Now part of this process is transferring all my current audio into Logic. Now Sonar and Logic don't speak the same language obviously, and they don't use the exact same formats, but there are formats for exporting audio. There is OMF, there is BWF, there is AAF, and there is XML. MIDI is always available on all music software. Sonar is capable of exporting to OMF and to BWF. Logic does not support OMF. It supports AAF and it supports BWF. So I will probably be using BWF to export from Sonar and then import that into Logic. Something I failed to mention earlier. Besides these 4 ways of exporting, there is one way that is always guaranteed to work, although it creates immensely large amounts of data. And this is to simply export all the tracks as individual WAV files. That way, doesn't matter which software program you import into, they will all be aligned from the start, because the WAV file gets created for the entire track. So when you look here on my song screen, on the main screen, you can see this WAV file was recorded from the start. But you can see this track here, the drangs, for instance, started here. When I export every individual track as a WAV file, essentially this is what happens. Sonar will create empty WAV file here. In that way, all the tracks are actually aligned from the start. That means I can import it into any software, whether or not the software understands any of the OMF, BWF, AAF, or XML formats is irrelevant. I simply open every WAV file into that new software as an individual track. I will do that as well after exporting to BWF. Let me show you the Mac. Oh, there's the little magic mouse. Here's the Mac. Of course, this is one of the other reasons why I love Mac. So I open it, it's immediately functioning. It's not like a PC taking 14 minutes to start up. Having said that, there are drawbacks to the Mac as well. In another episode, if you guys comment and ask below, I'll share a little bit about my experience between PC and Mac, why I've been working on PC all the time, why I'm going to Mac, what the pros and cons are. I use this USB cable, which comes from the FCA 1616, and then I use a mini display port to add an extra screen, and I use this USB J5 Create adapter. It has an additional 3 USB ports and an HDMI connector. That allows the Mac to have an additional 2 screens. At the moment in the studio it looks like this. It has the keyboard and the mouse going to my PC down there with the 4 screens running. There you can see once the Mac is set up, this is what you have. So with the PC I normally have 4 screens running. With the Mac I have 3 screens, the Mac's own screen as well as the 2 additional screens running through this system here. Now, back to the export. Firstly, I need to select all the tracks. They're all selected. Everything is going to export. export, say audio. So I will select the option broadcast wave. That's time stamped. We'll try and open them in Logic and see how that goes. I'm not exporting the entire mix, I'm exporting tracks. Just call it Humbly. So let's see if this works. It wants to create these files. I'm going to say, okay, that's fine. And it's going ahead. You can see here at the top as it's exporting. I'm obviously going to fast forward through the export process to get to the end for you quickly. That is the export completed. At this point, I'm going to close the song and close Sonar, and I'm going to continue on the laptop. So I'll be setting up the Mac, transferring all this data from PC to Mac, and then I'll try and initiate it on the Mac. And that is completed. So I'm starting up Logic. I need to know what the tempo of this song is, because that's very important when it comes to lining up the broadcast wave files. Remember, they are time stamped, so I have to get my metronome in Logic the same as the metronome in Sonar. This I've done. Now I should be able to import them like that. I'm going to try. The last time I tried this, I could not import a bunch of audio files. I could only import one at a time. Yep, cannot just say import all of them. Okay, let's try this, see what happens. And joy of joys, it doesn't work. I'm going to find another way to do this. Well, as is quite obvious, and as you can clearly hear, this VWF thing did not work. I'm going to go back to Sonar and export it all as tracks. The full track, just export the full track, and then I'll do that multiple track pull in here that I just tried a moment ago. Then they should at least work because they'll be lined up. So there we have the re-exported wave files. We're going to drag all of these to there. I'm actually moving it. And we're done, folks. Pull them all. Use existing tracks. Let's see. On it. Let's just see how things line up. Let's just play something here.
But these three words I say to you.
So if I'm correct, the acoustic should start now.
Live justly, love mercy, and walk humbly before your God.
Well, as you can hear, it's still not working. Okay, folks, so for seems like the third time or fourth time, I'm not sure, I've copied all the stuff. I discovered the reason I struggled with the previous attempts, and that was because I had made changes in Sonar and moved some stuff around and didn't check that it's the right place. I was able in Sonar to go back to one of my previous backups and find the correct one where they're all aligned and sounding correctly and playing nicely, and from there I exported again. Dump them all there. Use the existing tracks. Let's see it add them all. And now let's see if they all align correctly. I'm going to go to somewhere in the middle and just listen.
I have heard there is
Well, no.
a rhyme. Oh.
Okay, folks, so this is try number 4,568,720. Okay, I don't know. I'm trying it again. Now I found another error issue that I had.
So many questions I can answer.
Okay, it's getting there. Okay, so at least this time we've got it almost right. I'm going to do it one more time. I have now seemed to forgotten to put the levels at the right level. And for whatever reason, it's like a click or a half a click or something out of time. So I'm going to try and get that sorted this time. Let's do the whole export one more time again. You may have noticed my hair is all wet. I've been swimming in the meantime, building stuff, because this process is ridiculously long. I started this process at roughly about 1 o'clock in the afternoon. It's about 5 o'clock. That is enough time for me to have re-recorded from scratch, probably half of the song. Okay, so there we go. It's done, folks. Let's see if we can get this sorted. Oh, excellent. It has used the same colors. The bad news is that it placed the tracks in alphabetical order. Oh, it's fun. Anyways, let's see if I can start to rearrange them somehow. I'll need an extra track. So now I've rearranged them all. I have to recolor them all, but it does seem that everything is at least working and running correctly. And folks, that was the export from the one app to the other. Now that that's completed, we're going to continue with the rest of the backing vocals in the next week. So I look forward to seeing you guys next week. Thanks for popping by. Thanks for viewing. I encourage you, comment down below, ask questions, share whatever you feel. Let's chat and have a conversation. I also want to encourage you, do like and share this video. It's great if other guys can watch as well. Some of your friends might enjoy seeing this as well. And then, of course, as always, I remind you to subscribe and follow the channel. When you do, you will be notified every time I upload a new video. So, folks, thanks so much for popping by. Thanks for viewing. It's great to be able to do this stuff. It was so frustrating copying this, but at least now that's done and dusted. So I look forward to seeing you all next week. Cheers, everybody.